Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. And by we, I mean just me, the guy with the green screen, talking about his GameStop position. We are part of a movement. Listen here, we got Diamond Hand. What's hard? Nothing's harder than diamonds. Google's Alpha Mind might find something. Alpha Fold, not Alpha Mind. Anyway, now that I butchered that intro, let's talk about GameStop. I told you guys I was going to start kind of going over, and by kind of, I mean I'm going to tell you guys what I'm doing with my GameStop position. If you ever saw one of my previous GameStop videos, I made fun of a lot, and it was easy to do. But looking back, now that so I watched the Dumb Money movie, and in GameStop, once it's not Hello Kitty, Roaring Kitty. Once Roaring Kitty came back, his account, right? I started reading a bunch of comments again, and now I see these people aren't. I don't want to call them ignorant or anything like that. They just genuinely believe the stuff that they're doing. So I really felt bad. There's a lot of bag holders in this particular one, and I feel that they got, I don't want to say led astray, a pipe dream maybe. So I'm doing this to show you, if you're going to hold a stock, this is not the end-all be-all, but there are ways to just not wake up and see less money in your account every day. That's no way to have a trading account. It's not even a trading account. You're just going to one day not have any money, and you're going to say the stock market was rigged. And that's it. So I'm going to start going over my plays. Now, I had sold 235 puts to get into these shares. But I'm going to start putting this on an Excel sheet. Right now, there's just one play. Now, when you sell a put, I get paid to get in, which means somebody paid me to buy these shares, right? And that's where it gets its name from, right? Shares get put to you. So I had shares put to my account. One of those was $15 times 100, so it's $15 per share. So I got paid $1,500 to buy this at 35, which would effectively bring my average cost down to $20, right? One of them was actually just shy of 500. I was 460, which would still make it $30. But outside of all that, I'm going to pretend I bought these things at $35. That's it. So I have 200 shares, started today, 200 shares. We'll call it $35. We had actually just started to break. Yeah, we actually started to break down. Now, due to this pump over the weekend, right? I saw over in Germany, GameStop was up 30%. We ended up doing the same thing over here. But because we were up, Vega came back into the options contracts. So I wanted to wait and see. Once I saw that we kind of broke down over here, I ended up selling the 34 strike for this Friday. I collected $102, which means I sold the call option for this Friday the 31st, strike 34, and I collected. I sold it for $1.02, right? So instead of you buying to open, I sold to open. So somebody paid me $102. That's in my account now. Now, I did take the $102, and I bought 4 more shares. So I do have now actually 204 shares, which technically brings your average down. For now, I'm going to keep that separate. My goal would be to get this down as cheap as I can. So for now, because my average cost is $35, now I got paid I got paid $1, so it's $1 per share. When you look at the options contracts, you guys will notice some people say, like, oh, I sold that for $1. It means $100. It's $1 per share. So when you're talking about options money, if you just can't figure that out, or if that, for some people that they have a hard time clicking with that in the beginning, just imagine dollar per share. Each contract's for 100 shares. So right now, worst case scenario, this thing shoots up, right? The YouTubers are right. We're going to the moon on Mars, and it blasts off. Now, my worst case scenario right now, outside of the 4 shares that I just bought, I make $2 on the trade. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because right now I'm down. If I own this thing at $35, I'm down. So if I sell this thing at break even, I dodged that bullet. Not a bad situation to be in. Like, all right, because a lot of people, they'll be in a stock, and then it's just down. Like, oh, great, now I'm going to bag hold this until I'm green, which would just stop for a second. If you're going to hold something until it's green, and that's your strategy, you're telling me you're going to be the one person in the world that never takes a loss. That doesn't exist, right? Anyway, not that GameStop's going to go away, but a lot of tickers do. So keep that in mind. So you're about to take that loss, right? Or wait forever. You know, I have the opportunity that if it shoots up, my worst case scenario is I break even. Fine. I'm okay with that. I'll manage things later if I can, but so be it. Worst case scenario, whatever. So now that is on just 100 shares, by the way. So technically, my average cost if it shoots up, by the way, I only sell 100 shares. So right now, my average cost just off of that should be around $34.49. Actually, as a matter of fact, would be my average cost on these shares. And however you want to look at it, it's going to get into the options gymnastics. So by doing that, again, 34. Now I collected, 35, but I collected $1. So in that strike happened to be 34, which fills the gap to the 35. Is that making sense? Is this clicking? For a while there, the contract was up, so technically I was down. Right now we're back down. So come Friday, if we are not at $34, I collected that guy's $102. And that's that. I got a free 4 shares. And I'm going to continue doing that until I have a whole bunch of shares for free, or it shoots up and I get out of the position. What I would like to do is do that a couple more times. And then if I see signs that we're going to start turning this thing up, and it might just be what I'm going to end up doing if it doesn't shoot up this week, is I'm going to let that expire on Friday. Typically on Friday, I just do all my rolling stuff. So I'll buy back to close the contract for a couple bucks, and then I'll sell the next week's expiration. What I'm going to do, though, is let it expire Friday and see where we're at Monday. Because if Monday we take another gap up, I want to take that share appreciation and then sell another contract at a higher strike for the same value or same one for more. I want to manage this the best way that I can. Right now, I know a lot of you guys watch the RSI. We kind of touched the overbought, I guess, for a second, and then came back down. I'll say we weren't even overbought. All right, hourly, same thing. 4 hour now. So what do you guys like? The MACD. It did show a golden cross. I know a lot of people are excited about that today. A golden cross. Now, as far as resistance goes, 27.50 will be a thing. We gap down into this, so this level right here, just from that gap, $34 will be a thing. And you can mark lines on all of these. A momentum ticker is going to just be a momentum ticker. While people are talking about all the reasons why and this and that and all this is, a lot of this will be momentum stuff. This institution's messing around with you guys. Maybe, right? Maybe it's just a theory. Either way, take all that with a grain of salt right now when it comes to a ticker like GameStop. But as we breach either one of these, as long as it holds, that's just going to furthermore bring in the buy side activity. It's just going to bring in the more momentum traders that don't care about GameStop. They care about its characteristics of momentum, which brings in more buy side. And then you have delta hedging, you have gamma squeezes. We need to crack a few of these levels first, and then things could get nuts, which is ultimately why it was just a long-winded way of saying why I only sold 1 contract instead of 2. So if it did go nuts, I could still sell some shares after hours, pre-market. Should there be a situation where this thing just rocks and rolls to 40, I'd sell it at $40. You know, sorry, I know I'm not the 8 movement, but I promise you I'll make more over the long haul versus the guy that says he, magically sold at the peak. He's not. Everyone watched it go up there, thought it was going to go to 100, rode it all the way back down. Base hits is what I'm going to do on this. I'm going to load the bases, and then I'm going to have someone else walk a base. I'm just going to keep loading the bases over and over again. The videos going forward will be a lot quicker. I'm going to talk about my play and why, but just first one, I really wanted to break down kind of what I'm doing. So for now, that's where we're at. If this does shoot up, I have another contract to sell, and I will take that premium, and I will buy more shares with it. So if we are up in the morning, what I would like to do is maybe sell something in the 40s. If we could juice this thing up, and I can collect a couple hundred bucks, and it starts with a 40 and higher, I would do it. Because, I would sell my shares at 40, so why not get paid to sell them anyway? And then if it just spikes to 36 and comes back down, I collected some free money, a couple $100. So that's what I'll be watching for tomorrow morning. It's just all of that. Anyway, I'll wrap it up here. If you're interested in this is something I'm going to do until my cost basis is nothing. And then I get to talk about how I'm in GameStop shares for free. I'm part of the movement. I'm diamond handing with a cost of 0. Get on my level. Anyway, subscribe, turn the bell on, do all the cool stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.